Hey, happy Saturday. Welcome back to Everyday Faith. Hope you are enjoying your weekend if you're moseying around or just kind of taking it easy today. Thanks for joining us on day 18 of Resilience. We have a scripture. My name is Ricky, in case you don't know who I am, or I'm part of the Faith Box team. But good to be back with you guys here this morning. And today we have a scripture from Philippians 4, verse 13, chapter 4, verse 13. Very familiar scripture. And here's what it says: "For I can do everything through Christ who gives me strength." And the devotion says this: "In everything, Jesus Christ gives you strength." Think about that for a moment. Or better said, think about everything for a moment. Parenting, career, relationships, marriage, faith, purpose. In all of these areas, God is producing strength and ability for you to accomplish everything He's called you to. It's through Christ in you that you are both equipped and empowered to accomplish more than you could ever ask or imagine. I love this because it's such a simple but profound reminder, because the verse says, "I can do everything through Christ." Maybe you grew up, or maybe you're familiar with the phrasing or the translation that renders it, "I can do all things through Christ." Either way, whether it's all things or everything, what I love is that it's not some things, it's not half of the things, it's not a part of the things, it's all things, it's everything. Through Christ, we can do it all. And I think one of the things when I think about my own life, it's like I know the verse, right? Like I know, I've quoted this, I've seen it. I'm a football fan. I've seen it on Tim Tebow's eyes, like on the paint, and on athletes' shoes and things like that. But one of the things that I guess I forget to think about is that really it is everything. Like in my marriage, being the husband that God's called me to be, loving my wife the way I'm supposed to love her. I have a daughter; she's 7 years old. Beautiful little girl. Like I wrestle with as a dad. Like, am I parenting her? Am I loving her the same way? Doing the things that God would want me to do, or that God's asking me to do as a father. My job, as a pastor, leading a church, people's spiritual kind of issues and dilemmas and challenges and frustrations and excitement and joys and all these things that I'm called to do as a pastor and a shepherd, to lead them. Do I have what it takes to do it there? Just in my community, in my city, loving people and being kind to them and showing them grace and forgiveness and mercy and recognizing that I'm not better than them and that I'm human just like anyone else is. All of these areas, it's like if I think about each one on their own, it's like, it's hard. It's hard to think about, or it's hard to manage, and it's hard to do these things well, or to do them to the level that Jesus calls me to do them. Yet this verse, again, what I love about it is that it's everything, like all these things. Being a husband, being a father, being a pastor, being a person, being, whatever it is that I'm supposed to focus on, like everything that God's called me to do, He strengthens me to fulfill it. And that gives me hope, and that gives me inspiration and encouragement, because it's not easy and it's challenging. But I find hope knowing that, like, if God is going to give me strength for one thing, He's not just doing it for one thing, He's doing it for all things. And the same is true for you. I know there's people who struggle, your marriage maybe isn't what you wanted it to be or what you dreamed for it to be. Your kids aren't turning out the way that you would hope for. And it's not because they're bad kids. Maybe you feel like you're responsible for that. You weren't a present parent. You weren't engaged. Your job, you're struggling to make ends meet, or you're just overworked, and you can make ends meet, but you're just exhausted or feel kind of purposeless within that. Whatever it is that God has called you to, He's going to strengthen you to do it, and He's going to strengthen you to do all of it, not part of it, not some of it. So remember, through Christ, everything and all things are possible. So hope that encourages you this Saturday morning. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll be back here tomorrow, Sunday, to lead us in day 19. I'll see you then.